Faida number 29 from the book Ma'rakatun Nas by Shaykh Bilal Ismail. So here he discusses applying the Shariah by not applying the Shariah. What is this? So he mentions, for example, some liberals like Muhammad Abid al-Jabiri and others. They state, no. We are not against the implementation of the Shariah. In fact, we call for the implementation of the Shariah. But what type of implementation? Correct and true implementation of the Shariah. Oh, very interesting. What do you mean by correct and true implementation of the Shariah? They would state, we are not enemies to Islam. We love Islam. We are not some crazy secularist or some crazy liberal. No. We respect the Sharia and we feel that Muslims should and must apply the Sharia. But it must be the correct and true implementation and application of the Sharia. Now, what does this mean? They state, well, we need to move beyond the books of fiqh. All of this fiqh heritage that we have, we need to get purer. We need to go earlier. We need to go back to the time of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. They lived with the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They understood the Sharia best. So let us go and look at the Sahaba. And then they state, well, if you look at the Sahaba, that the crux of all matters with the Sahaba was maslaha, was what was in the best interest of the Muslims. Even if it went against the Quran or the Sunnah, the Sahaba, supposedly, they put and placed maslaha over and above everything else. The interest of the Muslims, what is in the best interest of the Muslims, etc., etc. So Muhammad Abid al-Jabiri states that the overarching rule, the sovereign, is maslaha. Whatever is felt to be in the best interest of the Muslims. And so, when we need to create a political and a ruling system, we need to create it based upon maslaha. When we want to set up something today, we need to look at maslaha, not the books of fiqh, not all of the Quran and the Sunnah. No. We need to look at maslaha. And sometimes the maslaha and the best interest, it might align with the Quran and the Sunnah, and sometimes it might not align with the Quran and the Sunnah. But now we have a device to jump over the Quran and the Sunnah in reality. Allah musta'an. Ya Abdullah, Ya Amat Allah, this type of understanding in reality is what? It is a new definition of applying the Sharia. What new definition? That this definition states that we are going to implement and apply the Sharia by not applying and implementing the Sharia. This is the new implementation of it, because the overarching rule is maslaha. And so, for example, you want to talk about cutting the hand of the thief, etc. This was something there during the time of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's in the Quran, we accept it, etc. But why did they do that? Well, supposedly they did this because there were no jails around, because physical pain was the best option. Whereas today, we could find the person, we could lock them up in jail, we have their IDs, we have their passports, we can restrict their movement, we can take away their property. So we have many other options on the table. In the old days, not allowing the Muslim woman to get married to a non-Muslim man, yeah, this made sense because religion was the most important matter. Whereas today, it's a different culture, different society. And so the woman, she has the right to get married to a non-Muslim, etc. We look at what's in the best interest of the people. If she loves the guy, she likes the guy, he's going to look after her, etc., then all is well and all is fine. We look at maslaha. We look at what is in the best interest, supposedly, of the people. Allah musta'an. So, Ya Abdullah, Ya Amat Allah, this understanding is what? Is that they are claiming that they are applying the Sharia by doing what? By not applying the Sharia. Allah musta'an.